Hi, this is George Antone here. I want to share a story with you that you might be able to relate to. Recently, an investor walked up to me and shared with me a deal he's pretty excited about. And so when I listened to it, I did some calculations. I shared with him this thing called the profit fallacy. Sometimes I call it the principal profit fallacy. And so what happened is when he saw that, his jaw dropped. And I explained to him this is the problem with many, many deals out there. Many people think they're profiting, but they're not. In fact, they won't find out because they don't understand there's a problem to fix. So they won't find out until literally decades later that all these deals they've been doing, they've been actually losing money, even though there's money in their pocket. So I want to share this with you because it just might be a mistake that you're making. I want to make you aware of it and also how to actually start thinking about it. So this is going to be a two-part series, and this might just blow your mind away, okay? But at least you can start avoiding making the mistake now so you don't have to find out decades later. So with that, buckle up and let's dive in. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on or discuss this. So again, this is the, let's call it the principal profit. It's really called the profit fallacy. But I'm going to add the word principal. You'll see why here in a second, okay? So as we're doing this, I want you to think about, does this apply to you? Because as you're going to find out, this applies not just to you, but pretty much every investor. So let's just say that this here is an investor. And let's just say it's you, okay, as an investor. And you decide you want to invest $100,000, okay? So you're going to invest $100,000, and this is your principal. And you're doing this because obviously you're looking for, I'm putting dotted lines here, for an imaginary profit that you're going to collect in the future. Okay, so this is the profit, if you will, this is the profit path, and this is the principal. The idea is to get back your principal and invest. So after a number of years, okay, so there's going to be a number of years. Let's just say 5 years as an example. This deal could be real estate, it could be private lending, it could be stocks, it could be, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Because this applies to everything you do. You get back your $100,000. You get back your $100,000. And let's just say, for discussion's sake, you get back 30,000 profit. Again, the actual dollar doesn't matter. You invest 100,000, you get it back in 5 years, and you get $30,000. And you're super excited. You're running around saying, I am a genius. I got this profit. Let's go ahead and think about this for a second. So when you first invested here, okay, coffee, let's just say coffee was $1. So let's go ahead and draw a simple coffee cup here. And let's just say coffee is $1. And so therefore, with your 100,000, you could have purchased 100,000 coffees. There's no dollar here. 100,000 coffees. So what we're looking at here is you always have to look at your purchasing power. Make sure you watch my other videos on level 1, purchasing power. Okay. So let's just say though, in the future, coffee is $1, whatever, 30. Okay. So your coffee now, to buy the same exact coffee, okay, you need to pay $1.30. So how many coffees can you buy here? So let me just do this with the calculator. 100,000 divided by 1.3 gives us, we can now buy 77,000 coffees. Okay. And so our 100,000 now, we can buy 77,000 coffees. So we dropped from 100,000 to 77,000 coffees. But let's look at the profit. The profit is 30,000. So now we can buy 30,000, divide by 1.3. We're able to buy an additional 23,000 coffees, right, from the profit. So now we have 100,000 coffees. So we did all the work to go from 100,000 to 100,000, but hold on a second. We also have to pay taxes on that, right? So we have to pay taxes on that. So let's just say out of the 30,000, we're netting 20,000, just to make it simple. Okay. So now our number of coffees actually dropped. So we're going to only be able to afford less than that, less than 100,000. So let me get this straight. So we did all this stuff just to find out that after 5 years, even though we think we profited, but in reality, when you look at purchasing power, the answer is no, we did not. We moved backwards in terms of purchasing power. Now, how many people actually are doing this? Again, this is not specific to any one investment. This is real estate, private lending, this is stocks, this is everything you invest in. This is what's happening. People are so focused on the profit that they don't realize the principal is losing money. Okay, so let's take this a step further. So now what happened is you dropped, purchasing power went down, went from 100,000 in terms of purchasing power to, we said 77,000. So now our profit has to pick up the difference and more. And you notice here 30,000 is a good number, before taxes, but it wasn't enough to pick up this slack here. So here's what most investors focus on. Most investors focus on maximize profit, right? But they're missing out that their principal is losing so much that this is not truly profit. And you're paying taxes on break even in this case. You're not even profiting. So what you should be doing is you should be focusing on not just maximizing profit, but also minimizing principal loss in terms of purchasing power. I'm going to write PP for purchasing power. Let's think about what just happened here. Most investors focus on this, okay? But now you realize there's more work here. Focus on maximizing profit and, more importantly, minimizing the principal loss, the second part. So now our investments aren't just based on one thing. They're really based on two things now. Because this here, how many people are doing this, have been doing this for decades and decades and decades? It turns out most investors, they have no clue what's happening here. All they do is they look at this and they run around excited. They only find out when they retire that all this time, for some reason, they cannot afford the stuff they were able to afford decades earlier because they're not aware of the principal profit fallacy. Okay, this part here, they're not aware of this. Now you understand the problem. You cannot just look at profit only. You have to look at this principal first. Always look at your principal. Make sure you protect it. So this is your goal right now. Minimize principal loss in terms of purchasing power. I'm going to show you how to do that in video number 2, okay? In part 2. Take care. So hopefully you enjoy that content. If you want more of that, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. We are big believers in sharing content and training that can change your life. Also, for anyone wanting a copy of the drawing I just did, download the PDF of that right below this video. You'll see a link in the description. Go ahead and download that. In fact, I would highly recommend you read some of the description we have because we always have links to videos in there that might be very appropriate or correspond to the one you just watched. Now, as a company, all we do day in and day out is we help people like you start seeing a transformation in their life. We focus on implementation. So anytime you're ready, we're here for you. Go ahead and click on the link below and let us know when you're ready and we'll get you going, okay? So with that, I'll see you in the next video.